Da, 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 da. Man, we need to get some. I need to get like at least a 2 minute theme song going, just to give a 2 minute buffer for people, right? Um, like I got 1,000 people tuning in, but that's neither here nor there. All right. My name is Coach Malik Hall. This is Catch Up with Coach. We're gonna jump in. This is the NFL edition, not for long. We're gonna talk NFL, and I live in New England. We gotta talk New England Patriots. They played last night. Anything else will be uncivilized, as my man Charles Barkley coined in the mid 90s. Barkley was on to something back then, but I don't really talk basketball until football is officially over. When I get that clear, now that that's out in the air. All right, so here's the deal. Um, the Patriots, I had them pin the win out. I had them beating the Bills. Um, but if I had to be honest, in full transparency, and watching the game and really evaluating what's going on, you know, the Pats, unfortunately, um, just just not a well-rounded team right now. Um, I think you know I watched some of the look. So I was already on this post-game media kick, and so I guess it's only right I stay there. Considering Coach Belichick has done a pretty decent job in my estimate of controlling narratives with the media. Because public opinion it runs rampant today. Because the world is smaller. Obviously, social media plays a major part in that. But this was a tough one, man. Having Max Sauce come out in an interview and speak to them as a player. If a player feels like they're being out coached, it is very few spaces for players to speak on that. Very few spaces. Um, Even at the collegiate level is probably even more difficult. Partly because your livelihood isn't on the line, so to speak. Your degree or your ability to go pro, maybe. But if you don't like what coach is doing or the plays that coach is calling, it really requires a coach to be um, first off open minded to hear what the players and the grievance of a player or players or your locker room. Um, Partly because like coach knows what he wants to do. Coach has a really good assessment on what you can do. Now we may disagree on what you can do versus what I think you can do, um, but that's neither here nor there. Coach Belichick has rings to say otherwise. That hey, bro, trust what I'm telling you. I know I don't like trust the process because it's been this overused cliche, but it is what it is. It means something. So in my mind, first off, the Patriots only ran the ball 13 times. That's not conducive to what will give the Patriots an opportunity in the fourth quarter, to be in the fourth quarter to win. All right, they threw the ball 36 times. Mac Jones, for the most part, I wasn't disappointed in his completion rate. Um, and he threw for a tutty. The problem, I think, is, um, yeah, like Mac Jones has a new play caller, a new quarterback coach, a new O line coach, a new offensive staff. The defensive staff, for the most part, is the continuity on the New England Patriots team. Okay, now bear with me and track with me on this. The defense, for whatever the offense was able to do or not do, my only knock against the offense is they didn't run the ball enough. But because Buffalo jumped out on their head fast, it put them in a very difficult position where they had to kind of throw themselves back into the game just to be competitive, partly because their defense was not able to make the plays that they traditionally make. There were probably 4 plays out there that the Patriots defensive players will normally make and change the tide of a game. And unfortunately, it came on a late, first off, on a pressure where they almost had Allen. Normally they get that pressure, he gets out of it and throws a pick. That's the Allen way. They did a great job in spying Allen. I noted that defensively. Every mistake Allen made in the throw game, they wasn't able to capitalize on it. He threw a late curl to the sideline. The corner was driving and it slipped. Because if I'm thinking, oh, this is going the other way, slips and ends up turning into a 15, 20-yard game. Like, unfortunately, timing just was off on their defense. Their offense, for the most part, produced what their offense is going to produce. The defense is the eraser that ends up getting the Patriots easy scores, whether it be field goals, pick sixes, scooping scores, or a 30-yard drive that produces a touchdown. Like stealing points and stealing series has been how the Patriots have survived in our 5-5 ball club. And so for me, that's where we are with the Patriots. I would have hoped that they would have been able to iron out some of the schematic woes that they have on offense to be able to push the ball down the field, but that has not been the case. And I don't think it's a bipartisan of Mac Jones. And if you play Zappy, you could argue, yeah, Zappy is going to be able to do something different. Maybe. But that's not my point. The point of it, which I alluded to in the beginning of the show, the media. Whenever the players are voicing their frustrations to the media about what we're doing, that's where you're saying, okay, this is intended to get back to coach. And so I also spoke to the media a few weeks ago about players understand the power of the media just the same. And so I know I was on a rant about like the NFL needs to vet the post game questions a little bit better and not always have full access in the locker room after a loss. I still feel that way. I still feel that way. So much so that I think you need to give players a moment to breathe, to really reflect on, okay, what am I going to say in my post game? Because I don't believe we're giving players enough time to really reflect on the right thing to say, how to say it, and how not to ostracize a losing moment and continue making it losing moments, whether it be the article that they write up after your statement, whether it be you taking shots at the play calls, whether you taking shots at players on your team. That most of the time, I believe, is based on a knee-jerk reaction. Emotionally, I'm emotionally knee-jerking on this, or I'm emotionally drunk because of the loss. I had a coach who used to say, listen, do not play emotionally drunk. I coached with him. Shout out Coach Full Love. Do not play emotionally drunk. You have to be emotionally sober when you're playing. You have to be able to handle the situation. You have to be able to handle the situation. And so, I think the players understand the power of the media just the same. And so I know I was on a rant about like the NFL needs to vet the post game questions a little bit better and not always have full access in the locker room after a loss. I still feel that way. I still feel that way. So post game. To be emotionally sober going into a post game. And scientifically speaking, I don't know that your endorphins are wound down or burned out for you not to be emotionally drunk, win or lose. Even back in the day when Jets, um, when he was when they were playing the Patriots, shout out Coach Rex Ryan. When they were playing the Patriots in the playoffs that year in the second round, they got Barcelona Field. Good win in the first round, wild card win. You guys got the Patriots next. What are you looking forward to? Now, it was a great sound bite. It is dope. That man looked dead in the camera, said, "Can't wait." You're not going to get those moments if the emotions aren't there because they're genuine. We want we want authentic moments. That's what we want. But we also are in this space of our culture where we're canceling because people are being authentic on the mic. Not necessarily wrong. I'm not justifying right wrong on the mic. I'm just saying we are very sensitive as a culture right now. And I think it behooves ownership, administration, athletic directors, um, boosters, owners, sports information, sports media, social media, whoever handles the narrative, the media narrative, or the media outlets for your team, just be conscientious that this is a sensitive culture right now. We're in a sensitive world, and blanketed statements, whether it be true or not, whether it be your opinion, it just hurts. It hurts everything. So you got you got born. Who's like, I don't know what's going on because everything we ran, they knew we were running it. Hey, I used to tell my players, hey man, they get paid to coach too. They practice too. And so it just might be they got your card. Now, in that, it sucks to be out coached. I've been out coached more times than what the record will show, more times than uh what my accolades will show. The fact of the matter is coaches get out coached more than they out coach other coaches. The only way you can get better as a coach is by being out coached, by being exposed, by someone showing you, hey, right here, boop, that's where you're weak. If no one does that, you will never get to it. You'll be lost in your ego. You'll be lost in what you believe is right. And so you need people to humble you by giving you a little humble pie. Hat, hat, hat. And so schematically, that's how you get better by getting exposed. It is what it is. And so right now, the Patriots are being exposed based on talent, not necessarily based on scheme. Because the NFL, I call power right. Like the Titans are running the same plays with window dressing and they're successful. But they have the players to run those plays with the window dressing. They have the back to run that off tackle 24 times right and left and with the window dressing. So now for me to go and say Bill Belichick needs to retire, man, the man old, yeah, he in his 70s or 60s, yeah. But he also got two sons that's on his staff, which is a beautiful thing to be able to coach with your sons. Um, and he's he's refurbishing a 20-year dynasty. I mean, you gotta look at this from a larger level and say, or a larger scale even, and say, okay, what does it look like to have 2 decades of sustainable winning, and you pull that car apart to refurbish it? Any of my mechanics out there? Any of my scientists out there? And so I just in the grand scheme of what we're talking about, this man got the Patriots at a 6-6, competitive 6-6, in a barn burner division, and like we just look, I Patriot Nation, man, y'all just your privilege is showing again, homie. Like just chill, homie and homettes, because that is a female and male issue. It actually ain't even a gender specific. I'm just for all of my gender specific people, homie and homette, chill. Like maybe y'all make the playoffs, maybe y'all don't. You're 6-6. What an opportunity, nonetheless. What an opportunity. Like that's kind of where I stand on this. Y'all got the Cardinals. Y'all got the Raiders. I mean, I'm just saying. Like I think y'all still got a shot. That's how I feel. I think you guys still got a shot. But again, I think when you look at y'all should beat the Cards. Y'all should beat Vegas. Not gonna beat the Bengals. Should beat Miami. And unfortunately, they're gonna have to beat Buffalo again and get in. That's how that's gonna happen. And I think they can do it. So I don't know. But calling for coach's job, that's absurd. Just want to put that out there. All right. Other topic. And this topic is more where do I want to go with this? I know that it's the carousel, coaching carousel starting. Coaches are getting fired and hired. You'll see a few NFL coaches jump back into the collegiate cycle, all of that. I just I'm very sensitive to firing coaches because as we speak to firing coaches, we speak to firing coaches like the next coach has the magic answer on how to deal with people or how to call plays or how to deal with the media. And so a little bit of it, I'm not sure. Like, look, you got a coach that's there 6, 7 years and he's not competitive. I get it. But my son reminded me, contracts don't last forever. And so when I was all crying in my cereal because I wasn't coaching no more, and I thought my son was go think I was a loser because of whatever. It's like, coach, he's like, Dad, I mean, contracts are not forever. That's why they're contracts. So, like, and I know contracts can be broken and all of that, but it's like the contract doesn't mean anything then. You believing in me at one point didn't mean anything. It was I was hot and you didn't want to lose me. So granted, I get this is a business world. So you got to make some business decisions. I don't know. It's hard for me to talk about this. And so I just say that to say I I, I was in the doesn't matter where I was at. And someone's like, listen, we need to get rid of Bill, bring Josh McDaniels back. Okay. I just want to put this out here. Do you know whoever replaces Bill Belichick most likely will be just a mantelpiece for a while? Do you understand when you replace something of that type of energy or that type of magnitude, it won't come close to matching? Nothing he will do will be right. I think because he was groomed by Coach Belichick, it will make sense for him to go get him. But I just believe, like, if we think Daniels is just gonna wave his Harry Potter wand and the Patriots, not we. That's why I'm trying to stay on my Detroit blue. Cause I saw your comment, dog. For you to be a Detroiter or be a Michigan or a Lions fan, you sure be wearing that red and blue. I live in New England. So I'm switching it up for all of the people who call me out on it. I can respect it. But my point is you're not gonna get a Super Bowl winning coach that's gonna be able to handle the pressure, mystique, and legacy of Coach Belichick. It's just not gonna happen. In fact, do yourself a favor and look up the last time a coach has gone to the Super Bowl after replacing a Super Bowl coach. Look how long it's taken. Look it up. The only team that comes to my mind initially is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Took them almost 10 plus years. The only team that I think has been able to turn those corners and those margins over faster is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are the only have been able to produce a championship coach after championship coach after championship coach in a small window of years. I think Bill Cowher got there, but didn't win until about 10. So even still, and he replaced the great Chuck Noll. Like, so replacing a Super Bowl coach is just not seamless. Go get the hot name. Like, what people don't realize what coaches do are far greater than what you see on Saturday and Sunday. And so when you get into a program and that program, if the leader was worth his salt, some of that took. And if it takes, how difficult do you think that it is to deconstruct something? The Patriot way has taken for 2 decades of just domination. And like, bye bye, Bill. That's the deal. I hope not, because it will be something. You talk about that Red Sox curse. Go on and fire Coach Belichick. You think you had a Red Sox curse? The Patriots might never be good again. Might never be good again. I mean, karma has to play a part in how you deal with people. Like, what are you like? So we go dump this man out. Talk about giving a man a gold watch for his retirement. Thank you for all of your service. Here's your watch. Bye-bye. Y'all talking about firing the GOAT? We have no respect for what coaches bring to the table at all. None. No, we have no respect for how difficult it is to win in the NFL. In fact, I don't think we have any respect for winning. We really don't. Because if we had any respect for winning, we wouldn't treat coaches like, hey, coach, man, you got to go, man. Especially if you're a winning coach. You would understand, like, listen, you before Belichick got there, the Patriots weren't winning. Like, so now we create winning. It takes us 5 years to create winning. And then once we create it and we sustained it on a level that's never been done, and as time conquers all, we try to move in a different direction. And now as we move in a different direction, everyone's like, you're killing You're killing the franchise? Listen, he is the franchise, gentlemen. I hate to tell you that. I hate to be the bearer of that bad news. But go ahead and gonna get that band marched up. I'm telling you, and the worst part, like I'm a part-time media member. So I don't speak ill on coaches. So that just is what it is. I'm gonna tell you this though. The media in New England, you're in control of this. You start revving this fire Bill up, go on and put that pressure on Kraft or the Kraft group for them to start having those conversations and let that come up in the conversation. Man, listen, you guys will burn a bridge that doesn't need to be burned. Like sometimes it's okay to let your legend go out on his term. He a legend. Let the man go out how he want to go out. And you might mess around and win another one. Like, just man, winning is not done because uh you bring somebody in. It's done because you believe in who you have and you work out the kinks on what you have. But if you don't believe who you have, you're not really willing to work out the kinks of what you have. And so every coach that's getting fired, unfortunately, they never believed in what they had. All things considered, take the mitigating circumstances out of it, take the extremes out of it, just in the middle, right? And in fairness, maybe, maybe, maybe something new will help the Pats. But if you think whoever you bring in is gonna win you a Super Bowl off the bat, you tripping. I'm just telling you, who you think out there? Who you want? Who you want out there, cuz? You want Sean? You want New Orleans say Sean? You think he gonna go and get you a Super Bowl? That's who you want? Go ahead, go get him. You want Urban? I'm just saying, what coach out there you think is gonna come into Massachusetts, Foxborough, Daniels? Go on and get him. And you think that's gonna win you a Super Bowl? You think that's gonna bring you back to the Patriot way? I'm telling you, it's not. I'm just telling you, the NFL, it is hard to win. It is so hard to win. These dudes, yes, they get paid. Yes, coaches get paid. Yes, all of that's true. All of it's true. Yes, they get paid an exorbitant amount of money based on the average everyday person. Yes, that's true. To handle all the criticism and noise. Yeah, that's true too. But you go on and bark yourself into a crappy team, a crappy club. And let's be clear, you're on the back end of all of this. So if you think the Kraft group is going to fire him and like all of the Kraft group is relatively old. The head general is in his 80s. So if you think that they gonna fire Bill and that Kraft group gonna hold the line that long, that hard, now you're talking about a 20-year revamp. So stick to what you got, love who you got, and just roll with the punches. Be a turtle's back. Let stuff just bounce off of you. I'm sure it's supposed to be a duck back, but I like turtle back better. It's hard, it floats, can hide in it. Just chill, chill, chill. All right, I'm off that. I'm done preaching on that. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to tell you how I feel about these week's opponents, and I got to get off. My daughter is sick. Daddy daycare is up. That's what we doing. All right, I'm off my high horse about this firing Coach Bill Belichick deal. I'm just telling you, you keep barking at, you'll bark and bite something you don't want nothing to do with. Because if you think that Dayton market is all right, go ahead and jump in that. Go on and jump in that dating market, cuz find yourself wishing you didn't get divorced because why? Why? Because you don't like how he talked to you after he lost? Why? Because it's Hall of Famer quarterback trying to play till he's 50 and he don't want him to play that long on his ball club? I don't know. I just feel away. I'm a coach. So I'm always gonna err on the coach. I'm always got and I don't try to get in there if coach was wrong, right, and all of that, unless I got to. And right now, long as coaches don't do nothing, um, like ethically and morally and schematically, like glaringly wrong, I ain't gonna jump on coach. That ain't my steed, nor is it my cup of tea. So you can spill what you want to spill and talk about what you want to talk about because it's your show. All right. Green Bay Bears, Packers. At the Bears, go with the Bears. Broncos, Ravens, Lamar, Action Jackson. Is there anything else to talk about? Steelers, Falcons. I don't know what's going on with the Falcons, but they look like they're trying to do something over there. Go with Steelers. I love Coach Hamlin. All right. Jags, Lions. Do I really need to say it? Lions, 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 Lions. I'm trying to get a chant going. I don't think. Do we have that? Lions, Lions. Can we get that going? Anybody? Whatever. Browns, Texans. What? The NFL, they do scheduling on purpose like this. They knew they suspended him. They looked at the calendar. Okay, let's suspend him for half the season. Let's bring him back 3 weeks before he plays the Texans. I don't want to know. I don't know who's gonna get that one, but let's just say that's gonna be a game that I think will get a lot of media attention. Um, I don't even know if my man Watson is starting or not. My man, Coach Jets, 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 Jets. If y'all don't win this one, it's gonna get ugly. And I believe y'all can. Y'all got the defense to get with the Vikings. Y'all got the running game to get with the Vikings. We gonna stay a little bit on these last two games, because I said I lived in New York for 10 years. I got players on the Jets, former players working for the Jets, former players working for the Giants, playing for the Giants, played for the Giants. So, like I said, I'm not surprised that the Jets took care of business last week with Mike White. I also was very vocal in like the only reason the Jets are not successful right now is because of Wilson. Uh, I believe that if they have played this man sparingly this year, their record, they're probably 2 games. Right now, they're 7-4. If they have played him sparingly this year, I'm saying they probably already clinched. They go clinch. They got 9 wins. They'll be the first to 10. If they just play him sparingly. But like this is a byproduct of media management versus coach management, upper room management, or upper level or front office management, right? So we're gonna talk about 2 quarterbacks. All right. The quarterback situation at the Jets was a nightmare from the beginning that they got Geno Smith, right? Because that's transitioning a new head coach, new quarterback. Now, Geno survives 2 coaching staffs, and then now 2 draft quarterbacks later, we land at Wilson. See how fast that happened? See how a bad situation of getting rid of a coach because they're in a slump or they're not having a great year, how it can turn. In fairness, though, I'm getting off track. Now, They put the white kid in. They go with Flacco. Like actually, when you think about every quarterback that the Jets have played when they had to get Wilson out, they've been successful. Hint, hint. But the problem is we have that New York media pumping they draft pick. And I can't even think of, in fact, you probably cannot draft a quarterback in New York and let him marinate. I don't even think that's a thing. Because if you draft him, they want him. They want to see him. And right now, this kid Zach Wilson is a byproduct of not marinating in the seasoning long enough. And so because of it, like they gonna have to make some decisions against the Vikings. And the Vikings, I know they're getting a lot of flack. I'm not a Vikings fan. I lived in Minnesota, but that's about it. Respect what they over there doing, man. This dude is taking down. This dude is getting Randy Moss's record. And you're saying they don't have a quarterback. Leave Cousins alone, man. Let him do his thing. And so I'm going Vikings, unfortunately, because I don't think the Jets have if the I don't think the Jets have rectified what they really want to do at the trigger situation. And because of it, that just is go marinate in their offensive energy and in their locker room. All right. Commandos, commanders, commandos, commanders, and contras. Whatever. All right. The G-Man and the commandos. Here's a kicker. I want to go G-Man, but if I really believe, okay, and I said this, I really believe that the Commandos had their quarterback since last year, but Heine is not sexy, and they needed a sexy name. Why is Heine not sexy? Because ain't no one over there really evaluating what they got. And so we making decisions based on name appeal. Listen, Heine got a better college career. Look it up. ODU, Old Dominion University. Better college career than Wentz. And so they bring Wentz over. They brought a bunch of people over to not play this kid. And it ain't working out for him. And so I'm going to Commandos if they go with Heine. Heineke. Go get it, dog. Coach against this dude. He can play. He can flick it. He put up, I think, 400 yards against us on defense when I was at UMass. I told you, I've been humbled. All right, so the G-Man, unfortunately, I love New York. I love what the G-Man are doing, but the G-Man should be able to get this done if they hand this ball off. But I think right now the Commandos and Commanders are on fire. The Contras are on fire. And because of that, I'm going Contras. All right, Titans, Eagles, the clash of the heavyweights. This is the game. This is the game of Saturday. Or excuse me, Sunday. Game of the Sunday game to watch. 1 o'clock, Titans, Eagles. You have to find out how real this Eagle defense is, and you go find out how Jalen Hurts is a real leader. And here's the other kicker. I'm gonna say you gonna find out if that workhorse over there is tired because we in week 14, week 13, yeah. And if he not tired and that Philly defense ball, this game gonna be a 13-17 game. I'm going Philly though. Seahawk Rams, Geno. He ain't writing back. Go with Geno and his letters. All right, Dolphins, 49ers. This game is very intriguing, but I'm going Dolphins because the 49ers are still trying to get rid of Jimmy G. I don't understand. How can you be successful but not like how you're being successful? That's my number one problem with the Niners. And because of that, I should start an episode called um People Karma. Because if you do people right, they go do something right for you. You do people wrong, they want to be successful, but you won't be successful because you trying to trade a dude that got you there. Now, one Super Bowl and got you in a run for two. You've been trying to offload this dude ever since. And because of it, that creates a bad charge in the locker room, creates a bad charge in the media and in your fan base. Support the people you have, and if you're going to move on from who you have, move on afterwards. Afterwards. But like politically, uh, emotionally, and socially, they followed that up over there. Now, I think they got a good team. I think they got some good players. But look, your favorite team with all of the players on it that should be really good, they're only as good as the glue that keeps them together. Now, whether you think the coach is the glue or the all-stars the glue or the GMs or management or administration, I'm telling you, everybody has a part to play in the chemical balance of the glue that they lay. You lay too much glue, your glue go spill over and affect the piece that I gotta lay. And that's what's happening over there with the Niners. The Dolphins, on the other hand, everybody working with the same glue box. The Dolphins are doing everything that everyone thought they wouldn't do with all of the drama they had going into the season. But I talked about people karma. So that people karma is not gone. But for all intents and purposes, it's hard to stop Tua Tutty. And so long as that man out there and they going against the karma that the 49ers put on Jimmy G, I'm going Dolphins by a lot. All right, Chiefs, Bengals. Rematch? No. Chiefs. Chargers, Raiders. Clash of the old school teams with new locations. I don't know why the Chargers. 6-5 Chargers. They just, I don't even know what to say, know what to do. The Mannix brothers, Monday, 1 o'clock, thebigjad.com. Check us out. I guess once college football will be over, we'll be able to talk a little NFL maybe. And if the Raiders let Josh McDaniels, if they fire Josh McDaniels, I'm gonna be hot at the Raiders. There's no reason for that. Let the man coach. 4-7, and I'm a fan of the Raiders. I think the Raiders got something going over there, but it's year one. Yeah. Listen, you can't go on your job, go into HR, and in year one be expected to do anything until you figure out how to do anything. I'm just saying. I went over my first year, and I was in a shotgun wedding. Like, season started in August, I got here in July. And I went over. Like, but it took me really 2 seasons to get an idea of the culture, the campus, and the type of players we could recruit. I know it's the NFL, and I know it's no technically recruiting, but there's a culture you got to create. That's a new facility. That's new everything. It's a blank canvas. So he still has to create it. And you still got to manage being in Las Vegas. That's a challenge in itself. Coach Cowboys, Coach Saturday, I appreciate what you're doing, giving them boys some juice over there, but that ain't going to work against them boys. That's America's team. Coach Michael Irvin told me they took that star from the flag, and they about to shoot that star all at them Colts. Foul, 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 foul. Watch. I'm just telling you. Saints, Bucks. Hey, go. I'm going to tell you this. The Bucks are 5-6. The Saints are 4-8. You going Jimmy Dalton or Tom Brady? You going Dalton or Brady? It's not Jimmy Dalton. I'm sorry. You going Dalton or Brady? Which one? And that's where I'm going to. Brady. Hey, this is Coach Malik Hall. This is the NFL. Not for long. I try to keep it under 45 minutes, and I did it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1:45 on the dot. I am Coach Malik Carl. You are officially caught up. Peace.